Hello and welcome to Capping Corner. We are going to talk about the San Vicente Stakes. It's on Saturday at Santa Anita. This is a pretty strong field, and I could imagine two or three of these horses becoming big time names on the Derby Trail down the road. Let's take a look at the race. Number 1, McKinzie Street. I could be forgiving of his Bob Hope Stakes effort where he faded to third by 7.5 lengths. The 43 and change half mile fraction was way too fast, and he still tried to open up on the turn. We're going to take a look at the race. Here we have McKinzie Street on the lead. He's open and clear by a couple of lengths. Medicaid Road is in second, and Bullard is coming up on the outside in third. McKinzie Street is still in the lead as they enter the stretch. Bullard is in second though, and he's going to take the lead right now, and Medicaid Road is going to move into second. But McKinzie Street is still trying hard. Even though the half mile fraction was 43.93, he was still trying hard the entire way. And I know Medicaid Road moved into second, but Medicaid Road did return to break his maiden, so maybe that's a good sign. And McKinzie Street still ran a good race, even though he was third by 7.5 lengths. In this situation, maybe he will get a more reasonable pace. I'm willing to find out at 10-1. He's going to be my top choice in this race. He needs to go to the lead and just roll the dice, and maybe he can take them all the way. Number 2, Barnes, the $3.2 million colt. Barnes won his career debut at Churchill Downs. He won by a head over a colt named Innovator, which is fine. Innovator has some ability, although he's not a super talent or anything. And Barnes had to work hard, though, to get that win. We can take a look at the race. We see here Innovator is in the lead. Barnes has tipped outside of him. And look how hard the jockey is working on Barnes. The jockey is trying to get everything out of Barnes. And the jockey uses a left-handed whip, and Barnes drifts out under it. And the jockey switches to a right-handed whip, and Barnes switches to his wrong lead. So Barnes is all over the place. Innovator is still in the lead, but Barnes is going to catch him in the last few strides. And it was fine. I mean, there was 10 lengths back to the third place horse. Maybe that's a good sign. But again, if Barnes didn't cost $3.2 million, would you be super impressed with that maiden race? I wouldn't be. I think that $3.2 million auction price is going to get in a lot of people's heads, and people are going to think, oh, he cost that much money, he must be great. And all I see is a horse who has a mild maiden win and a promising career maybe, but I wouldn't say anything other than, oh, well, he might have a promising stakes career after that maiden win. I don't think he's the leader of the division or anything, and I'm going to pass on him. Number 3, Romanesque, the other Baffert horse in this race. I do like the way he won his debut at Del Mar. We can take a look at that effort. We are going to catch him in the stretch run. Romanesque is on the inside, and Rodriguez is on the outside, and they are neck and neck in mid-stretch. And Romanesque is going to take the lead here. Rodriguez is in second, and look at the gap to the third place horse. You can't even see them. And Romanesque is going to take the lead and win by a couple of lengths. Rodriguez is in second, and Rodriguez probably has some ability. I mean, they are stablemates, and Rodriguez is another expensive Baffert horse. And look at the gap to the rest of the field. That is a huge gap. I know I just said Barnes wasn't that impressive, and it was almost the same thing with two horses separating from the field like that towards the wire. Well, in this case, Romanesque got the better of his rival by a couple of lengths, while Barnes barely won. And Barnes was all over the place, while Romanesque was more professional in the stretch. And I do like the fact that Romanesque is also 5-1 in this race, while Barnes is 8-5. And what can you say about their accomplishments? They both have a maiden win. And so I'm going to put Romanesque in my top 3 in this race. He could win. He's going to get a good stocking trip. And let's move on to number 4. Smooth Cruisin' won his debut on October 27, and the third place horse was Journalism. Well, we know that Journalism went on to break his maiden and win the Los Alamitos Futurity. And I know that Smooth Cruisin' did beat him, but I wasn't that impressed by the race. Let's take a look at it. We catch him entering the stretch, and Smooth Cruisin' is in third right now, but the jockey is all out on him, and he's kind of all over the track as well. You can see how he was moving to the inside, and then he's outside, and the jockey is still working hard with a left-handed whip. Mellencamp is in the lead. Journalism is in fourth, but he's going to move into third, and Smooth Cruisin' is going to win by about half a length. And I just was not impressed visually by the race. I know that he beat Journalism, but the distance was probably too short for Journalism, who's probably meant to be a router, and this was a 6 furlong race. I think that Smooth Cruising got lucky that journalism wasn't running at a distance that he wanted, and I will have to pass on Smooth Cruising. I know this could be a good colt. I will see what he does in this race, and maybe down the line, I will reconsider him in another race. Number 5, Bullard. Bullard won the Bob Hope Stakes by 4 3/4 of a length, so he deserved to be 4-5 in this race. We can take a look at that race one more time. I do have one concern with his effort. My main concern with Bullard's effort in this race is that he got his setup. 21.63 for the opening quarter, 43.93 for the half mile. I think he got his setup. Whenever you're a closer and get those types of fractions, of course it's going to be easy in the stretch run as all the speed horses are basically dead. McKinzie Street had every right to be tired in third. He tried to open up on the turn. And I know that it's still an impressive race for Bullard to win by 4 3/4 of a length, and he was finishing strongly. And you can see here in the gallop out, he's still wanting to run. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, if he didn't get that 43.5, would he still have won by 4 lengths or over 4 lengths? I'm not sure. Maybe it would have been closer. But it was still an impressive race. I'm still going to put him in my top 3 in this race. But I'm going to say that McKinzie Street is probably the right play. And Bullard is my second choice in this race. And maybe Romanesque is going to be my third choice, and I'm going to leave out Barnes because he's overhyped after that maiden win at Churchill Downs. And those are my top 3 choices in this race: McKinzie Street, Bullard, and Romanesque. Thanks for listening to my San Vicente Stakes analysis, and I'll see you guys soon.